Hello beautifuls, it's me Benji. I'm going to be doing a reading for you today. Today's reading is very much coming through. I've already kind of got some little things written down before we do the oracle card and the reading. So there was a lot of pressure. If you want to check out yesterday's video, then click the cards or whatever, it will pop up. And check that out before you watch this one just so that you can understand what's going on. This is like a follow-up of what actually happened in the field, what's happening underneath of the noise, where the pressure went, because the pressure lifted pretty soon after I posted my video yesterday. The field didn't go quiet just because the pressure stopped, basically. It went super quiet yesterday after that video that I posted because it caught them in the act of what they were actually doing. And the message that I posted yesterday named the distortion live, basically. I exposed the pressure being sent towards the true line of source, and me doing that hit the structure behind the distortion hard enough that it had to pull back and go into hiding, basically. So this reading today is the follow-on from that. It's about what happens after the exposure and what the false feminine structure is doing now that they have pulled back and gone into hiding when it comes to this energy. What sits underneath the sudden silence as well. So I am going to pull an oracle card and I'm going to do a reading. If you do resonate today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications, join the members if you'd like to participate in reciprocity, and also if you'd like your own personal reading, you can check that out on my website, tarenji.online. It will be in the description or on my profile. You can go check that out. I also have a blog there, so you can read messages in full length as well. So let's start with an oracle card and see what's coming out. So this one's interesting. The true line here has distortion immunity coming out. So you are no longer readable by mimic systems. This one here is really interesting because today I had a few experiences when I went out, and the first one was where this like Chinese lady, she came up to me and she handed me this gold like token thing, and she was like, for luck, and then she tried to put like a crystal beaded bracelet on, and I only like wearing gold. That's just my thing for bracelets. I've been through a phase of crystals and all that kind of stuff, and I just don't keep them around anymore because of certain things that they can actually invite into your space. But that's for another time. She was like, for luck, and I was like, no, I don't want that. And she was like, donation for a donation, and I'm like, no, it's fine. Like I don't want that. And so she went away, and it was just like an interesting experience where this is a perfect example of distortion coming through the field, especially if you're like in a place like me, like you do these kind of readings, you're exposing the field, what's underneath. These things can actually happen. I know it seems insignificant to a lot of people, but this to me was such a significant thing. I don't normally get people come up to me. I'm normally pretty, shielded when I go out. People don't even have eye contact with me anymore. Whereas a long time ago, people just to stare at me consistently. And then when I went to a place to get a frozen drink for a nice little treat today, a dude came up to me. He was like, hey, like I saw you down at the other place, and I'm like, I don't know where the other place is, but I was just not in a space where I wanted to let a lot of energy in because I was doing like my own thing today, and like I said hello to this dude, but I didn't entertain any of the like weird questions. He was asking me my age, where I lived, like weird stuff like that, kind of probing. So this distortion immunity means something. So if you're part of the true line and you're in a sovereign state where you say no, you're kind of like outside of the system, then this stuff happens once you like speak truth into the broken system, the old system that's trying to prop itself up. So I feel like there's a message in that. But that's kind of what like is coming out. You're immune to distortion. And we have field sovereign, so it's interesting. I feel like that is the message today. I haven't even pulled any tarot cards yet, but that's kind of what I'm getting from it. Your frequency is now uninvadable. you are no longer readable by mimic systems, and your frequency is now uninvadable. So these two attempts today, for me at least, maybe you can relate, were the old system, the mimic system, this thing, this entity, this energy wanted to invade my energy. It wanted to hook back on. It wants me to go back into that system. It wants me to be quiet. It wants me to, not do these things, not do what I'm doing, not learn what I've learned. It wants me to go back under. But it just, once you get to a certain point, you know how to say no, right? And that's what field sovereign is. Sovereignty, a lot of people have versions of it, but my version of sovereignty is just saying no and standing in your no. With your discernment and with how you feel when something happens, and you just say no. So very interesting that they're coming out. And that's kind of another thing here is that's kind of the covertness of what happens after something gets called out. I called them out yesterday for what they were doing, and then today when I actually went out in public, things were actually happening. They were trying to hook back in energetically, but in covert ways, and they were using certain nodes or points in the field to do that. So let's grab a tarot reading and just see what comes out in that. I feel like I pretty much have said the message today, but we will get the reading here. So there is this so this is basically showing exactly what I've been saying. The Six of Cups in reverse, it's an old connection, right? And they're trying to reinstate an old connection into the true line, which is just not working because it doesn't accept it anymore. This old connection is no longer compatible, and this is the offer. So the false offer here to hook back into this old connection, to turn it right, this way again. So the true line, it truly is being targeted by this group covertly. We do have the Five of Wands coming out. So what's currently happening in their structure is that there's infighting, there could be arguing. There's a group, right? This is a group, and they don't know what to do. They are collapsing among themselves. Some of them probably are saying we should keep doing it. Some of them are saying we should pull back, we should stop doing this. This is only going to get worse for us. So there's a lot of fighting going on. So there is this covert energy though that's trying to hook back on through covert means, and I think that's what I've been experiencing today. A lot of people probably wouldn't see that as anything, but for me, that's the signs I get. The signs I get are very visible. So there's a fast-moving energy here, the Knight of Swords coming out, and this fast-moving energy is exactly what I experienced today. It was those people coming in very quickly and quick firing. They were trying to gain access. So the lady trying to put something on my wrist and being for luck. That was an invasion of my energy. They were trying to attach something to me through that. The man in the place where you get a frozen drink, he was also trying to attach through this familiar kind of being friendly but asking me weird questions, so I would basically dox myself to a random stranger. And because I didn't take the bait, that kind of shows the sovereignness of all of it. We have the Ten of Pentacles, so this is to do with a provision structure. They have lost access to this provision structure which True Source holds. It was stolen from True Source, and this is why they're trying to gain access back. Essentially, they want access through me. I know that for a fact. I've done enough energetic work and readings with True Source to understand that they want access back because they need the source nodes to be in that place of non-sovereign. So I have to say no, I have to reject these offers, or I'm basically stepping into a trap where they can start siphoning energy and that provision through that energy. They're unwilling to walk away from it. They're so desperate to hold on to this provision structure that they've built, and that's why they're attempting to do these covert strategies now. I do understand. Whoa, okay. I don't take cards that flip over like that. I find them to be quite distorted, so I normally pull cards myself from the deck. So I was thinking exactly that. I was about to say there is this tower collapse taking place because it is covert and not seen at the moment, and they like went into hiding. This here has been hidden, so we're actually looking into something that they don't want seen. They don't want this tower moment seen. So inside of their structure, their group dynamic, it's collapsing. So this is like the projection, the delay, the like the projection over them basically crumbling. They're like, no, we're not crumbling, we're avoiding it. They're not avoiding it, they're just hiding it. They're hiding this collapse because they're not willing to walk away from something they stole. There's lots of cards flying out right now. We don't take those cards. That was the Two of Pentacles. It landed sideways, if that means anything. I don't take cards like that. We have the King of Cups. So this is the true line. The true line is coming through as emotionally stable, sovereign. Strength in reversed is giving what this group is feeling. This group is feeling like they're losing all of their strength. And there is disunity. So the Three of Pentacles in reversed. So they can see that the true line holds this emotional stability and is sovereign and is unpenetrable. Basically immune to the distortion and is field sovereign. So uninvadable and unreadable by mimic systems. So they can't even read it. So it's interesting, like if they were to essentially do a reading on me or on this situation to do with this could be like someone else. Like I've seen in another video, source nodes are probably all over the world. We don't know each other essentially, but I know that there's probably multiple. I'm probably not the only one, but I could be, I might not be, I don't really know. I have looked into it, and there was a small handful of people that were on the same path that I have been going down, especially with the losing everything thing. So like losing everything, basically having everything stripped away from me through these systems, through what they did. So I experienced a big thing last year where I had a home. I stood up for myself against a false care structure, so the false feminine structure, and I essentially went in truth and I laid it down flat, and I ended up being kicked out of my home. I was made homeless. I had to sell everything, basically get rid of everything out of my whole entire life, and I had to cut a lot of people out of my life too. And it was a very interesting experience. And then I lived in my car for 3.5 months, and I followed True Source's line, and it led me through a lot of distortion. Obviously, I'm not telling the story right now. Like, it's not like I'm not looking for sympathy or anything. Like, I chose to go down this path. It's obviously a choice to do something, and I chose to do this. And eventually got to a point where systems started breaking when I would speak into them. So hence the reason why I am now in a thing called emergency accommodation. And so I live in a hotel now, and I'm kind of like in a transitional state. And there has been attempts while I've been here at least to sabotage my life again, but it just doesn't land. I don't know why I'm saying this. I just feel like it's something that's coming through, and there is a pathway to get to the true line that is very hard and treacherous, but at the same time, it's something that I would recommend if you want to free yourself from these systems, from the grip of the distortion and the bind and all of this stuff, and you want to actually walk the true line. Then it's all about standing in truth, and it's the truth. So I think I'm going to leave it there. This reading today is very telling. Let me know if you enjoyed this reading today. And, you know, I'm not going to apologize for getting a little bit personal. I don't normally talk about my situation that much, but it definitely happened. And I guess I'm talking about it because it was something that happened last year, and something that I I understood that was the same cycle. It's weird. I was in a different place. I wasn't what you call field sovereign then. So the distortion actually destroyed my life. That basically didn't want any of the truth to come out. And now that I've done all the work, did a lot of work while I was in my car. I had a lot of time to myself and a lot of time to create my oracle cards and just different things. And um, yeah, so it's just like a journey that I've been on. So I guess it seems to make sense because right now is like the completion cycle of what happened last year. I was taken out by this group, but not fully. And basically, I rose again, and now that group is being taken out for what they did to me, basically, and what they've been doing to a lot of people in this world. So I'm all for it. I'm all for its true source and source correction. Take care, and I'll see you in another one very shortly. Bye bye.